2 through age 8, children should be in a forward-facing child restraint. They should be in a 5-point harness car seat, child safety seat, as long as they meet the height and weight limits of that car seat. When you attach it, they all are able to be attached either via a seat belt or a latch system. I have this one secured with the latch system down at the anchors on either side, as well as to the back. All forward facing seats need to be secured with a tether. So here's the tether anchor on there. And to know that you have it secure enough, you grab down at the base and you move back and forth, and if it moves less than an inch side to side, you know that that child seat is secure. We have a 2.5-year-old today to put into our car seat. She currently is wearing a winter coat because it is a little chilly today, but she cannot be secured properly into her car seat with a coat on. So you always want to make sure you remove any heavy bulky coats. A thin jacket or sweatshirt's okay. The strap height for forward facing restraints should be at or above the shoulder. Move her hair out of the way. You can see it's coming out the closest to at or above. We don't want the strap to be below the shoulder. So then you attach chest plate and crotch buckle. It doesn't matter which ones you do first. And then to make sure that you are tight enough, you try to pinch. If you can pinch any fabric across their shoulder, it needs to be a little bit tighter. So I can no longer pinch. And then you want to make sure that the chest plate is down at their chest. So armpit level, across the armpits is where that should be. And then you have a safely secured child. Once a child maxes out on either height or weight of a 5-point harness seat, they then would need to move into a booster, whether it be a backless or a back booster. I have a backless booster today. They must be in some sort of restraint, again, until they're at least age 8. Once they're over age 8, they can come out of the booster if they meet those requirements. But today we have a booster and a 7-year-old. Again, she's got a big bulky coat on, and ideally anytime you put any seat belt or car seat strap, you don't want that big bulky coat on. So we're going to take off her big bulky coat. She's going to hop up into the booster. This booster doesn't have any securing or strapping. It's just a loose booster that sits in the car seat. There are some boosters that latch in with the latch. This one just uses the seat belt. So you bring the seat belt across, there's no twists or buckles. This sits right across their hips and should come up along and come up across their shoulder. We don't want it to be hitting up along their neck at all, and they need to be able to sit there safely and securely. If you have a child that doesn't have enough control to keep their back against the back and their feet down, that they would need to remain in a 5-point harness. You may need to just upgrade your car seat if they're not safe to be in this, but it should fit across their collarbone, down along their shoulder, and then across their hips. We don't want it up in their belly, so the booster brings them up, that seatbelt hits them at the correct level. Once your child's over age 8 or maxes out on the weight limit of whatever booster seat you have, and they're at least 4 foot 9 inches, they may come out of their booster and sit just on a car seat or the vehicle seat, just like you and I do. Again, they need to be mature enough and able to understand that they need to be able to keep their back against the back with their butt all the way scooted back against the back seat and their feet down onto the floor. And then go ahead and put your seatbelt on. And then you can see, since he's tall enough, this seatbelt hits across his shoulder just like it did earlier with the 7-year-old. Hits across his shoulder and down across his hips, not up into his belly, but down across his hips and across his shoulder. Keep him safe in the seat. Now, something to note, he's only 11, so which means that in PA he cannot sit up in the front passenger seats. You have to be over age 13 to be able to sit in the front seat. So even though your child may may be able to fit in a regular seatbelt, they still need to be in the back seat until they're 13 years old. Children need to remain rear facing in your vehicle at least through age 2 per the law. It is best recommended that they remain rear facing as long as that they meet the height and weight requirements of that car seat. But at least legally through age 2. Most children age out of the infant carrier that a lot of people use with newborns. Somewhere between 10 and 18 months, they're probably going to size out of those. We'll need to move into a convertible car seat. A convertible car seat is named that because it has 2 belt paths, a rear facing and a forward facing belt path, so that it can grow with your child and be rear facing while they're still under age 2, and then can be flipped around and secured properly to grow with them, so that you get a little more bang for your buck that way. So again, I have this secured with a latch system. It can be used with a seatbelt as well, but you secure both of your anchor latches. And when they're rear facing, there's a tether on these, but you don't secure that. There's no tether in most of your car seats, rear facing car seats anymore. Some of the newer ones are coming up with some newer things, but for the most part, they won't. For our model today, we have a 2.5-year-old that still is in a rear facing seat. So come on over here, get in your car seat. Okay, so she's got this bulky winter coat on. Anytime a child is being secured into a car seat, they cannot be wearing heavy coats or bulky clothing. When they are rear facing, we want the shoulder strap should come across their shoulders and come out of the car seat at or just below, whatever is the closest. So it's a little tough to see in here. The strap is just below her shoulder. We don't want it to come out above it all when they're rear facing. So you do your chest clip and your crotch strap. It doesn't matter which one you do first or which one you do second, just so that you secure them all. Making sure that none of your straps are twisted. You reach across their shoulder, usually the one closest to you, but since you can kind of see the side, you just pinch the material across their shoulder. And if you can't pinch anything, then it's tight enough. And making sure that the chest clip is secure at their armpit level. And then you know that they are safe in their car seat to ride. You can see her legs are pretty bent up here, but that's okay, because the most important thing is that her head and neck will be able to be safely secured in the event of an accident. And if these legs bounce around or break, it's a lot less dangerous than if you have some kind of neck or spinal injury. So as long as she's comfortable, it may look a little bunched up, but this is how she's safest, is rear facing. Yes, we put a coat over top usually like this, since we don't have a coat on underneath the straps. So, and then she's ready to go. So for an infant rear-facing car seat, usually they come with a base or without a base. The most important thing is that the level is between the sections that it says it can be. They usually will have a smaller section for kids under age 3 months, and then you have a wider bubble section once they're over the 3 month mark. They do not have to move out of the younger section, the smaller area, but they can if you need the space. It's important that you have space that you can pass something, but that the seat isn't touching the seat in front of it. And sometimes with the higher recline, that's harder to accomplish. You also need to make sure that when you pull at the belt path, whether you use the latch like this is secured, or whether you would use a seat belt with a lock off, that when you pull at the belt path, it moves less than 1 inch when you pull. So this car seat base is in. The carrier is already secured in. You can't lift that out, so it's ready to go. And a little trick, some of the car seats come with magnetic clips that you can stick your straps onto, but they also, all the car seats have a belt path across here if you were not to have a base. And if you have a kiddo, once they start to get a little bit bigger, you can kind of pull them out of the way just by slipping the straps into those seatbelt paths, and then you have an open area to put your child into. Maggie, ready? Okay. All right, so I know car seats aren't fun all the time. So the cheek that the butt is all the way back when you put the straps on is the most important thing. I know, it's okay. What do you have? We're just gonna put your straps on real quick. Yeah, I know. Making sure we don't twist them. I know. Okay. Clip. It doesn't matter which which ones you do first or last. It's easier if you keep these shoulder pads pulled down. And then you just pull the strap to tighten until when you pinch along their shoulder, I'm trying to stay out of the view. When you pinch along their shoulder, you can't pull any material. So if I can't pinch anything along her shoulder, then it's tight enough. You can slide your shoulder protectors, your neck protectors up, making sure that this chest clip is between the armpits. And then she is, hang on, I have a slight twist here. There we go. She is ready to go for her car ride.